So this is not the most typical video that I tend to do on my YouTube channel, but I have been getting this question quite a lot on social media as far as, Jay, why did you quit the network marketing industry? Why are you no longer a part of any MLM company? So I wanted to come clean and share with you the good, the bad, the ugly of the industry and why I ended up, basically putting an end to me being in the profession. And I'm also going to give you my own reasons and why you may or may not want to be a part of MLM. So after this video, you're going to know, like I said, the good, the bad, and the ugly of the profession, and you get to decide whether you want to be a part of it or not. But just one quick public service announcement. I do want to say that this video is not to hate on the MLM industry. It is not to bash the industry. And I'm not going to say that the industry sucks or anything like this, but I just want to give you the things that you generally do not hear about when you join, like before you even join. So I want to share my own honesty and my own opinion about the industry from my own experience and also from my observation of other leaders. But I do want to say something. I have personally made great money in network marketing. I got to travel. I got to see, some amazing people in the industry. I got to hang out with, top leaders, with company owners. I'm still good friends with my ex-upline, if that's what you call uplines, if you're no longer working with them. So I still made great friends, great connections, and the industry allowed me to discover the overall idea of having a business. That has been my first ever encounter of a business. So I joined network marketing back in 2013 when I was still 18 years old and I was just in high school. So my parents were the ones who actually introduced me to the industry because they were already a part of a couple of different companies. They, I believe, were a part of 2 or 3 companies before I decided to jump on board. And I would always see my parents making calls, and they would be running some paid advertising, and they would be talking to people, and they would have different products and things like that. So, and collectively we've been in different niches. I personally have gone through skincare, fitness, weight loss, brain supplements, mental, anxiety kind of help supplements. I've also gone through travel companies. I've gone through Forex and financial education companies. So I've had a fair share of all the different possible MLMs that you could be a part of. So when I first joined, I was 18 years old, I was still in high school, and I was extremely busy because we had exams, we had a lot of extracurricular activities going on at school, and school just kept getting in the way. So safe to say, I made $0 in the first year of being in the network marketing industry. Now the first problem happened when mine and my parents' position were terminated for no reason. It just said that we violated the policy, didn't explain what kind of policy, we didn't really do anything wrong, tried to contact customer support, no help, nothing. So I do want to say that the first company that we were with, me and my parents, it's no longer around. And I'm just not gonna comment on this at all, but the positions were terminated, and I just came to the realization that network marketing may not be the safest route just because of that, because no matter what you do, you may get terminated and you may not even get any kind of explanation, and I've seen this happen to other people as well. I'm not saying that this is going to happen to you, but you have to be very careful because you do not own the company. And that's when I realized, I was like, oh my gosh, if I were making, let's say, really good money in this company, then I would have lost it all, right? So that was my first thought, and that really got me thinking. So then I took a break from MLM for a couple of months until I found another company on the internet which was no longer skincare, weight loss related. It was all about the mental awareness. It was all for anxiety, and it was an amazing supplement. I really benefited from it. My grandparents really loved it. My parents really loved it. I mean, almost my entire family was on that supplement, and we loved it. I mean, and I've made great money through that company. I mean, really good money when I was able to travel. Like I said, I got to meet the company owners. I got to meet my upline at this point, ex-upline, and I just got to meet overall amazing people, and I've had great experiences with the company until the company was basically falling apart. So it fell apart pretty fast, and as far as to my knowledge, the company was sold out to another company, it merged into another company, so that's how this whole deal went. And I got a text from my upline one day saying that the company was sold and that we are no longer a part of it. So, and everything in me just kind of dipped. Like, my energy was just so low, I had no idea what I was supposed to be doing, and my worst nightmare basically came to life because I was like, I just lost my entire income, which was pretty decent at the time, and I was obviously trying to figure out what I was going to do next because, you know, it was a big chunk of my income, like that particular network marketing company. And I was asking my upline, I was like, hey, what are we going to be doing next? Are we, you know, jumping in another MLM? Or like, what are we doing? Because I know his income was primarily through that network marketing company. So what happened next? They decided to shift into a different direction. They went into a different MLM. I think at this point, like multiple different companies. Some of them shut down, some of them they just decided to close or whatnot, and we all went different directions. So that was kind of my breaking point with network marketing, which was back in 2016, I believe. And I was already, at a time, I was already building my brand, which this is the key. So I was already building my brand, and it was already going well, right? So I was already making good money on the side with affiliate marketing, and then I got an opportunity to become a coach, right? Which I took with my both hands, and ever since that year, I was a business coach. So later on, I got introduced to another network marketing company, which I joined just because my coach was in it, and he was, you know, offered me different kinds of bonuses, different level of support and access to him. So I jumped on. It was a travel company, so which I did not stay long in that company. I did recruit a couple of people, you know, kind of on the side. I wasn't really at this point, I did not even want to build an MLM anymore. I just wanted to be a customer, and I wanted to see if that company was going to be a good fit. There was a cool promotion going on in the company, so to where you had to recruit one person and you win a cruise, and then you recruit another person, you win a cruise. So I did all of that, or maybe it was like recruit three people and you win a cruise or something like that. And I was like, oh, that's neat. So I did end up winning a cruise. Now the problem is the company actually never sent out those cruises, which to me was a red flag. Like, I kept asking, and then I started noticing some people asking about it, and I don't even think anybody ever received those free cruises. I mean, I never did, and I know a friend of mine who was in that company at that time, and she was doing a massive promotion for that. She never got those cruises, and neither did her team. So to me, that was a major red flag. And obviously, when the company does not fulfill their promises, then you just have to leave, in my personal opinion. And I'm not saying that all companies do that, but some do. So if something happens like this, I would honestly stay the heck away. Now, later on, I did end up joining 3 different companies that were all connected to Forex, financial education, artificial intelligence, all that kind of stuff. And it was great. I mean, I did make money with those companies. However, the problem is 2 out of 3 companies went out of business the first year. So to me, that was an indication that it's just not a good idea to stick to the kind of companies that are new and do not have any kind of foundation to be protected from FTC, basically. So one company is still alive and they're still doing well, and I have a lot of friends in that Forex company. I'm not going to call any names, but like, I've gone to their convention, I've met the people, so I know they do have integrity. And I mean, even still, like, a lot of companies, I do feel like they do have a lot of shady stuff going on. But I mean, as long as people are making money, as long as people are eating, that's really what matters. And as long as company stays true to their promises. So the last company I was with, it went out of business, I believe February 2020, and at the time I was no longer in that company, so I quit around December 2019. So once I heard that, I was like, never freaking again. So now after being out of these companies, I was already a coach, I was already building my own business, and that basically just gave me freedom to do whatever the heck I wanted to, right? Now let's talk about a couple of things to remember about network marketing that I do want you to know as somebody who has been in the industry, somebody who has experienced it, and somebody who knows a ton of people in the industry as well. Number one, you do not own the company. And you really have to remember that before you put all of your eggs into that one basket, because you do risk losing it all. So you do have to diversify your income streams. There's nothing wrong being focused on the network marketing and having something on the side like an e-commerce store or a coaching business or digital info, like doesn't really matter, right? But what you have to understand is your income can get wiped away in an instant, like it did for me. So, and I really do not want to happen this to you, because I've gone through this and it's not really fun at all. Now, number two, which again, this may not be true for all companies, but some companies that I have been in, you get very little percentage paid out as commissions. So, meaning I know somebody who is a major leader in the industry. He has, at the time, it was a couple years ago, so he's had 1 million customers underneath him in the company. And drum roll, he was making $1 million a year. So that's basically $1 per person. So that's the last time I heard about that. So to me, that was kind of an indication that I did not really want to be a part of that kind of company if it takes that many customers to make 7 figures. Which again, not every company is like that, and I know other leaders who are making well over 7 figures without that kind of compensation plan. So whenever you are looking to join a network marketing company, make sure that you do look into their comp plan. Number 3, it is freaking hard work. So, and you have to remember that in order for you to make good money in the industry, you need to work your freaking face off. And here's the problem with that. So now I'm not saying that you should not work hard in any other industry, because you do, but I've seen this happen to my friends. So, and I'm just gonna say this as, I guess, a warning. So people do get stressed out, people do not get enough sleep, because they are trying to hit that next promotion, they're trying to hit that, end of the month kind of craziness promotion, next rank, just to get that big bonus or whatnot. So there is a lot of hustle and bustle, and I want to say not just hustle, but the overall grind. And a lot of people do get detached from their families and their kids, which is the unfortunate part. And I've seen this happen to some leaders to where they had to switch companies because they just couldn't deal with it anymore. And honestly, that's sad, because the industry does promise the freedom, the industry does promise all the good, and that you can work from your laptop whenever or wherever. But it's not always the case. And honestly, overworking is pretty typical in network marketing just in general. So, and some people, they can't even take a day off. Like, they're constantly on that hamster wheel, constantly trying to run for that promotion, constantly trying to recruit for people. And every single time I see that, I'm like, I really appreciate what you're doing, but I'm like, I can't even imagine, somebody having a family and having to do all of that. Now, here's the big problem with an MLM, and I really hope that if you got to this point, you do understand it as from somebody who has been in the industry and who has made money and has gotten results with the product, is friendships get ruined. And I mean personal friendships. And I've seen this happen over and over and over again. And to me, this is sad, because I've seen big leaders and somebody who's a really big leader on their team, they leave the company because they just can't take it anymore, and then that leader just basically turns their back on them, and they just go into different places, and they either talk trash on them, or they just become, I guess, like passive aggressive on social media, and that is not fun. Like, to me, like, that's kind of like what gave me a bad taste of network marketing, just the fact that somebody leaves your team and you're like instantly becoming a jerk. Like, that's not okay. Like, especially if that's a personal friend, especially that's somebody who used to be your bestie from the industry. To me, that's not acceptable. And I will say not every leader is like that. I've seen leaders who had their team members leave and they still kept in touch with them. They still, loved them through that process. And then those members ended up getting back on that team just because they were appreciated, just because they were not talked trash. Another thing is reputation gets lost easily. And I'll explain to you why. Because I've seen leaders and I've been in this boat myself. So whenever something happens to the company, you are the one who has to talk to your team about that, right? And I've had these hard conversations to where you have to explain to thousands of people what's going on, what's happening, and what's going to be the move from the company. And it's not fun. And when you move your team from multiple different companies, from one to the other, and to the other, the team just starts shrinking because the team starts losing hope and stops losing hope, and they also stop having that trust with you. Like, the trust starts basically weakening, and that's not a fun part either. So that's something that you have to keep in mind, is if you are going to be one of those jumpers from company to company, it's going to be really hard for you to build a team. And another thing is when shit hits the fan, and trust me, it does in the MLM industry, it's hard to keep people's trust. It really is. It's really hard to have somebody believe that the next company is going to be better, and that to the next company there's not going to be anything that's going to be wrong. And also when companies fall apart, that's a big problem. Now, here's something that I do want to talk about, which I'm kind of a little scared sharing this because, again, not every company is like that, but some companies are just positioned as a cult. And I've seen this with my own eyes, to where they are overhyped up events. The speakers are just too woo-woo and rah-rah, or whatever you want to call it. And it really looks like the culture is being turned into a cult, and you're not really a part of a network marketing business, and you're just a part of something above that, if you will. And sometimes I'm just I don't know if I really feel safe in that kind of environment. And the other thing that I've seen other leaders do, which again, not everybody, but I've seen people do this, they would make you feel bad if you can't afford to invest in the highest possible package that's could be for $400 or $1,000. I've seen this happen with certain leaders, and I'm I don't really need 30 bottles of this product, so I'm just gonna buy how much I need. You know what I mean? I don't need to being made feel guilty for the fact that I don't need that many products. And even if I can't afford that, that's still none of your business. I'm still becoming your customer, so I kind of should be appreciated at least a little bit. You know what I'm saying? And also, some of them do make you feel bad if you decide that, hey, this is not for me, so thanks for the information. And then you just basically part ways, and people do make you feel bad sometimes, which is another problem in the industry, in my opinion. Now, this is the big part, and that is a big major red flag for you as well, especially if you're somebody who wants to build a personal brand, who wants to, have a bigger business and something more than just network marketing. You have to really be aware of that, because there's some companies that do not allow you to build anything else but this business. And I've seen companies discourage people from posting videos to social media. I've seen companies discourage you from posting videos that have a certain call to action, even if it goes to that network marketing company. And I'm do you not want more business to be sent your way? Do you not want more revenue? Just because I build a brand doesn't mean that I'm going to have less customers. I'm actually trying to do that in order to have more customers and send you more money into your company, right? So that is something that has always been weird to me, but not necessarily weird, because I do understand where those companies are coming from, because they do have that lack mentality, because they're afraid that you're going to get so like high up in the ranks that you're going to get all the exposure, and then people are going to start following you, and they're going to realize that they can also build a brand just besides promoting that company, and they're afraid that you're going to dilute their focus from building that MLM to building something else. So I would stay away from those kind of companies, because you are not an employee to that company, and your freedom is your freedom. It's not like company is not buying you as a rep. Like, yes, you are basically a sales rep to the company promoting the products, but you gotta have that freedom to do whatever the heck you want, as long as you don't do illegal stuff like cross recruiting or selling your own services specifically to the company members and things like that. But other than that, you should have no reason not to promote yourself however the heck you want to get customers into that business. Now let's talk about the good, which there are a few good things that I do want to say. Number one, you do not need to have your own product, which, I mean, creating your own digital or physical product is a lot of freaking work, so it's definitely easier promoting somebody else's product before you actually create something of your own. Now, there are also great companies. Like, I will say that there's few good companies, but there are really good and great companies that do stick to integrity with their leaders and with their products and with their own overall rules in the company. So be really careful when you're joining, and do that research and refer to this video. Now, there are also companies and teams that preach the efficient way of building a business. Instead of you going to shopping malls or doing the one-on-one kind of thing, or like belly to belly, whatever that's called, there are companies that teach you social media. There are companies that teach you Facebook ads. There are companies that teach you list building and how to use messenger marketing and, you know, chat marketing, whatever you want to call it. So there are companies that do modernize and don't stick in the 90s. And there are also great products that do work. Like, I've experienced a lot of them, so like, I do love the industry and I do love the products. I mean, there is a lot of negative parts as well, but I will say that there are incredible products that do like incredibly well, so I will vouch for that. So even for me personally, even if I'm not going to be likely ever building a team, I'm still going to be a customer and might be even an affiliate of certain companies. Now, if you decide to join, here's a couple of factors that you want to look into. You have to do it at your own risk. You have to do your own research. See how long the company has been in the business, see, you know, how many customers they have, see what kind of products they do offer. Do they offer a variety of products, or do they just offer one specific product? I would prefer having a bit of variety instead of you just promoting one product, which does hinder your revenue. Also, use the product yourself. Before you even start, you know, promoting and everything, I would use the product and test it out on yourself. And I mean, even if you don't, you can still use other people's testimonials in the beginning to start promoting, but I always feel a lot safer promoting something when I know that it has already worked for me. And do research the compensation plan. Make sure that you don't need millions of people under your team to be able to make good money that's actually going to cover your living and some more. And now, a couple things to remember: do not join new companies. Like, I would personally not do that, because I have been burnt myself and I've seen how this ends up. Do not get brainwashed. Like, that's a big problem in the industry. And now, another thing, do not trust the hype. So if there's too much hype, like way too much hype, then you don't want to be a part of it. And ultimately, do trust your gut, because if you feel like it is right, then go for it. And if you feel like it's not, then stay the heck away. So that's my video with the honest opinion of somebody who has been in the industry, somebody who has made good money in the industry, and somebody who has experienced great and bad products inside this industry. So I really hope this video was insightful. And if you enjoyed this, feel free to pass it on to a friend. Hit the like down below and hit subscribe if you enjoy this kind of videos. And I actually do talk more about social media, how to actually grow your business. We talk all about content marketing. So if you are a network marketer who wants to use social media to grow your team and your business, then you definitely want to check out my channel for more videos. And before you leave, check out these two videos right here that are going to help you out the most right now. And I will see you in the next video. Bye.